I will be discussing chapter 1, which tackles what is design, making visual and type play nice in space. We live in a visual culture. We read messages of a visual culture. When we are on the mall, from the logo on our shirt to traffic signals, these images communicates to us visually. We live with designs. So what is a visual culture? So a visual culture is a language, and like any language, visual culture has rules that make communication possible. And also visual culture is the study of images across many different kinds of social domains. So these images are some of the examples which can easily recognize from which place they came from. So these designs or these images are some example of a visual culture. Form follow function in design. We are surrounded by the work of designers from fashion to furniture to architecture. There are interior designers and landscape designers, product designers, and product packaging designers, and of course, graphic designers. So we live with designs. We may not notice this very often, but each day of our lives, we always encounter with designs that communicate with us. So despite its variety, all design is related through the expression form follow functions. So good design result from a partnership between form as art and function as utility. So from the expression form follow function, form refers to material artistry, what something looks like. So it refers to the appearance. Then function refers to the usefulness of the designs. So what's the purpose of your designs? So unlike fine artists, which can create arts through their expression or feelings, designers don't have the luxury of creating art for art's sake or wholly yielding a personal taste. Design always has a purpose to influence output. So this one is the common designs that we always see whenever we're on the mall. So once we saw this, even without the word restroom, we know exactly what it means. So in creating design, functions should come first before the form. Design drives visual culture. Beyond form and function, all design is related by trends too. So changing technology also influence design. For example, the design of televisions, computers, and cellular phones have changed in our lifetime. Some design don't stand the test of time. They go out of this style to become old-fashioned and old school. Some designs are said to be timeless or classic, such as the Parthenon, a former temple from Greece, and the Taj Mahal from India. Other designs became universal, such as the International Symbol of Access or the ISA. The ISA was designed by a Danish designer student in 1968. Recycle design trends. So there are also design trends to recycle earlier styles, usually with modification or updates. So cover black typeface took the US advertising world by storm in the 1920s. So fell out of favor and then became stylish again in the 1970s. So all this is to say that visual culture changes. So as a result of design changing form and functions, both related to technology and social trends. So this is equally true of graphic designs. Graphic designs communicates. So while the form of graphics design changes because of style trends and technology, the specific function still remains to communicate messages visually. Because of these specific functions to communicate visually, a graphic designers have to be a professional communicator. They understand that, for better or worse, in visual culture, we judge and are judged by appearance. So in fact, everyone can benefit from knowing something that the most unspoken rules of visual communication that is called a media literacy. So what is media literacy? So media literacy refers to the capacity to understand, analyze, and critique the media. You can give your own opinion about the media. That is a media literacy. So for example, with this design, they updated their original design. So for sure, the original designs get more feedbacks from people. So that's why media literacy is also important, because of media literacy, you can enhance your designs. Computer democratized graphic designs. Before, only professional produced graphic designs. Graphic designers spent years learning the art and craft of visual. Today, however, anyone with computer has access to the tools of producing visual communication. Unfortunately, not everyone knows the design rules for using technology tools. The result is a lot of bad graphic design in visual culture already on overload. So to avoid these mistakes of graphic design, should know design rule in using technology. So a good designer will know what tools to use and not to use in a certain situation. And of course, learning some fundamentals will improve your visual message delivery. Next is the World Wide Web changes all the rules. To say the World Wide Web changed everything for graphic designers. And just as they started figuring out for desktop and laptops, everything migrated to mobile devices. So typically, web designers and their clients think about website as desktop site first and mobile site second. So we tend to design for desktop first because it is familiar to us. So the traditional workflow is a web designer design the website as a desktop-centric site. So the website is then modified to adapt the different devices such as smartphone or tablets. So this approach is referred to as a graceful degradation or desktop-first development. To make a graceful degradation possible, developers use a technique called responsive web design. So responsive web design enables a website to automatically scale to fit different screen sizes. So this means that a business only needs one website, but often all of the desktop site content and designs won't gracefully fit into a mobile site. So the layout becomes skewed and visitors have to scroll through too many elements to get the actual content. So when you design and develop for mobile first, this problem can be easily avoided. But of course, there are pros and cons. So here are some pros and cons of the mobile first approach. So first pros is mobile is popular. So nowadays, many users will likely only see the mobile version of your site. Then another example of pros in mobile first approach is less code is equal to fewer bugs. A mobile first approach to coding means that the development begins with a simpler code used to mobile devices. And cons and examples of cons, everything is different. So mobile first design is neither fun nor easy, and it takes a team that understands the inherent differences of this approach. It requires a new work and design methods, and it takes dedication, experimentation, and a vast understanding of the mobile platform. And another cons is clients want a wireframe. So clients wants to see a demo of their site before they sign off on the design. So creating a mobile first website can confuse and frustrate them because they won't be able to view the desktop version until the end of the process. Next is graphic design is planned. Technically, graphic designs refer to a plan for organizing visual objects in space. So generally, that space means some kind of a flat surface such as paper or an electronic screen. So the key ideas are planned and organized for the purpose of communication. So designers plan their projects in detail on paper before ever sitting down at the computer. So good graphic design does four things. It captures attention, controls eye movements across the screen or page, conveys information, and evokes emotions. So graphic design refers to your plan for capturing the audience attention from among everything else competing for its interest. Once you have audience looking at your design, its arrangement or layout should control the audience's eyes to move in particular sequence from one thing to next on the screen or page. So the whole point of guiding the eye is to convey information. So think eye-catching, flowing, interesting, and evocative. So to achieve these four things of a good graphic design, you should orchestrate a plan. Because according to a French writer, a goal without a plan is just a wish. And also, according to Benjamin Franklin, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Make pictures and word work together in space. Effective designs and layout teams up pictures and words to communicate a unified message regardless of a visual platform or visual medium. So we have only three building blocks in design: the visual, the typography, and space. So visual refers to the symbols, icons, drawings, illustrations, photographs, films, and video, and etc. About type, we generally represent copy graphically with typography, a visual from form of language. So, but words may be represented with handwriting, such as calligraphy or even pictures. So, space means some kind of flat surface as paper or an electronic screen. So, imagine space as the sandbox that encourages visual and typography to play together. So beginner often makes the mistake of forgetting to account for space. Too much space and visual and type get lost or don't talk to each other. So not enough space and they start to fight with each other. So you can't easily get the message from the design. So the idea is to arrange visual and type harmoniously in space so that we can get the message easily. So space is real. So even when we call it white space, or more properly the negative space. So negative space always has weight and structure in graphic design. So white space, it is an important element of design which enables the object in it to exist at all. So the balance between positive and the use of the negative spaces is the key to aesthetic composition. There's an old saying, white space is nice. So by using white space properly, you'll have different perception of your designed image. So the best advice for improving our visual communication is to practice looking. Pay attention to the layout of visuals and typography in space. Think about what you're seeing. Next is know the rules, break the rules if you have reason. As you can see in this design of 7th Street, it pushes the boundaries of readable typography. Yet it works because it evokes the distressed nature of product being sold. So 7th Street Salvage sells vintage product. Sometimes the exemption are good example of a good design. You can break the rules and can produce good designs if you have a broad ideas and already well experienced designer that can keep up with the evolution of trends. By training and experience, we can master both fundamentals and advanced rules of designs. So the bottom line is, don't break the rules of design out of ignorance. Learn the rules, then break the rules if you have a reason to. If it works, it works. Just keep reminding ourselves that we have a job to do. It's called visual communication. So, according to Charles AMS, an American designer, architect, and filmmaker, design is a plan for arranging elements in such a way as best to accomplish a particular purpose. So, when we are creating designs, there is always a purpose in it. So, here's the summary of the chapter 1. Visual culture. So visual culture is a language, and like any language, visual culture has rules to make communication possible. And also visual culture is the study of images across many different kinds of social domains. Then form refers to material artistry, what something looks like. Functions, it refers to the usefulness of the design. So all design is related by style trends too. Changing technology also influences design. Visual culture changes as a result of design changing form and functions. So graphic designers have to be professional communicator. Media literacy refers to the capacity to understand, analyze, and critique the media. In computer democratized graphic design, good designers know what tools to use and not use in certain situations. Learning fundamentals will improve your visual message delivery. So to make graceful degradation possible, developer use a technique called responsive web design. So a responsive web design enables a website to automatically scale to fit different screen sizes. So mobile first design pros. Mobiles is popular, less code or fewer bugs. Then another example of cons of mobile first design, everything is different. Clients want a wireframe. Then graphic design is planned. Graphic design refers to a plan for organizing visual object in space. So the key ideas are planned and organized for the purpose of communication. Good graphic design does four things. It captures attention, it controls the eye movement across the screen or page, it conveys information, it evokes emotions. Then, the three building blocks in design, the visual, the typography, and space. Then, the know the rules, break the rules if you have reason. Don't break the rules of design out of ignorance. Learn the rules, then break the rules if you have reason to. If it works, it works. Just keep reminding ourselves that we have a job to do. It's called visual communication. Thank you.